Robert Louis Stevenson said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest that you reap, but by the seeds that you plant."
At Enactus UL, we have been planting seeds, literally and figuratively, empowering the people we work with towards bettering their quality of life.
Today, we will present 2 projects to show how we have been doing just that.
Hi, I'm Aoife.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Katie.
I'm Sean.
I'm Clodagh.
And hi, I'm Tim.
Our first project, Restart, is overcoming the issues of loneliness and isolation often experienced by people living in direct provision. Through our portfolio of initiatives, Restart is bridging the gap between these international protection applicants and the wider community.
We regularly conduct needs assessments with the IPAs using surveys and one-on-one interviews. This ensures we are continuously meeting their needs as we continue to grow. Our needs assessments this year revealed that 83% of the IPA we asked still felt there was a lack of integration opportunities.
Integration is core to our initiatives, as well as providing an environment for co-learning.
Restart Cooking, our flagship programme, is a fresh food vendor enterprise. We cook traditional dishes from all over the world with our IPAs to sell at our weekly food stall in Newell.
IPA are empowered with business principles such as money management and marketing to run the stall. Through Restart Cooking, this year we saw the need to use entrepreneurial leadership to go beyond our Enactus UL team and involve more members of the local community.
Following the success of last year's pilot, we capitalised on the opportunity for a large profit margin with Restart Catering.
This year, we successfully catered for 4 separate events. We also secured our very first off-campus contract with the Sanctuary Runners for the Great Limerick Run, due to be held in May but now postponed until October.
We have generated a revenue of €1,172 with a profit of €625, proving our business model to be financially sustainable. This has enabled us to integrate even more IPAs.
We assessed the environmental impact of Restart Cooking and acted on the opportunity to ensure a more sustainable and environmentally friendly supply chain through our Restart Gardening initiative.
We reached out to our local community.
We acquired land.
We consulted with an expert horticulturalist.
We are hoping to transform it as time goes by. So now it looks like a bush. Hopefully by the weekend we'll have a different story to tell. Yeah, it's really bad. It needs some work.
Together, we transformed what was once a neglected piece of land into a workable garden, and we harvested our first crops last September.
This is our work, and I think Restart Gardening is very growing very well.
We utilised organic growing methods, ensuring a reduction in the environmental impact of the project.
These crops were then used in the Restart Cooking initiative, our supply chain, reducing our costs and upskilling our project participants. To optimise the year-round utilisation of the land, we plan to hold social events which will provide further opportunity for integration.
We secured sponsorship from large multinational organisations such as Boston Scientific and Massey, the movement of asylum seekers in Ireland. On the Enactus Ireland and City Pathways to Progress programme, we placed 3rd overall, successfully securing €1,500.
This financial investment will be used to broaden our gardening capabilities to enable winter gardening. This will create a greater crop yield and a more robust and sustainable supply chain for Restart Cooking.
We have not stopped supporting our communities, even in lockdown. With our new partner, Every Child is Your Child, we organise the provision of Sanitation Packs.
These were distributed to 280 rooms in direct provision centres across 5 counties in Ireland. Through our innovative action, we have ensured that IPA did not have to choose between daily essentials and protecting themselves against COVID-19 in cramped direct provision centres.
Restart is more than just a social enterprise.
Through Restart, we welcome people to Ireland who have been forced to flee their home and seek international protection. By providing integration opportunities through cooking and gardening, we are directly encouraging and facilitating co-learning, upskilling and cross-cultural communication. This enables us all to learn and grow as people and build our own Restart community.
This year, we directly impacted 311 people, 31 through our cooking and gardening initiatives, and a further 280 who received a sanitation pack. 2 IPA who are involved in Restart secured scholarships to study at the University of Limerick. Having helped plant the seeds of change, we have proudly seen Edward and Keith grow as people and as scholars as they embarked on their journey to third level education, a life-changing opportunity they would have never had access to without their involvement in Restart.
Our Enactus team is changing lives and bettering livelihoods.
And here's Keith, one of our participants who received one of the Sanctuary Scholarships to UL and is continuing his education as a direct result of Restart.
Restart Gardening has helped me to get access to the university level, and it has also helped me to meet up with influential people who have encouraged me to go back to school, and of which that's one thing which I never thought that was going to happen.
The Enactus UL team not only plants seeds in our own community but around the world. Our NEG project was first introduced to Enactus at National Competition 2018, where the project pitched for seed funding at the grassroots competition and was successful in its efforts. Fast forward to 2020 and our internationally acclaimed project Moya Nua has continued to make waves across the globe.
Moya Nua is dedicated to improving the livelihoods of smallholder farmers in sub-Saharan Africa. These farmers currently use outdated tools and processes that lead to long-term musculoskeletal diseases, reducing their quality of life. Moya Nua spotted an opportunity to make a difference.
We developed an ergonomic seed planter designed to drastically reduce the labour intensity and improve planting efficiency for the farmers. The design simply allows the farmer to dig a hole and drop the seed in it without the need to bend down.
Our product development has gone through multiple phases. We started with a clunky, expensive metal design that was ultimately unrealistic from a financial and an environmental point of view. We looked at various iterations and this year developed a version of our seed planter made with bamboo and recycled steel.
Using these alternative materials has multiple benefits. They are cost efficient, they are more environmentally friendly, and most importantly, they can be sourced locally in sub-Saharan Africa.
This has been the biggest year to date for Moya Nua. In March 2020, we were chosen out of 300,000 applicants to take part in the London Regional Finals of the Hult Prize competition, the first ever Irish team to do so. The Hult Prize is one of the world's most acclaimed entrepreneurship programs and has become a benchmark startup challenge for social entrepreneurship. We placed in the final 6 teams out of 88 in this regional stage, validating the potential of Moya Nua even more.
Earlier this year, we formed a key partnership with Goal Global. Together with Goal, we developed our business model. We devised a plan on how we can produce the seed planters locally in sub-Saharan Africa.
With Goal's guidance, practical support and financial network, the team is set to travel to Uganda on a research and development trip. The aim of the trip was to deliver pilot workshops, train farmers and empower them to produce and sell the first of our seed planters. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, these plans have been postponed until a time when it is once again safe to do so.
With Goal and their contacts across Africa, we are developing our pricing model. They will be a key partner as we source local suppliers of the raw material needed at the best possible price.
We will sell directly to smallholder farmers from these localised production facilities in Africa, and also to NGOs to provide our product to those who cannot afford it. The potential seed planter and the value that it offers the smallholder farmer gives us a unique selling point and the chance to break into a massive market. There are approximately 33 million smallholder farmers in Africa and 500 million worldwide.
Our simple tool can revolutionise the lives of smallholder farmers, radically improving their health and well-being. It reduces labour intensity and increases planting efficiency, leading to financial prosperity.
Moya Nua is conscious of ensuring we did not negatively impact the environment. Our raw materials are environmentally friendly. Sourcing them locally eliminates the negative effect of transporting material between countries, and the efficient use of land will have a long-term positive impact. The localised production of the planter will also have a spin-off effect on local communities, creating vital income opportunities for some of the most impoverished demographics of the world.
Hitting 9 of the 17 UN SDGs and having the backing of key partners such as Goal, we know that Moya Nua really can create a sustainable, positive impact.
This year, our Enactus team has expanded our project portfolio, introducing 4 new projects, which embrace new challenges and tackle new issues in our community.
Any time of the month is fighting the often ignored issue of period poverty by creating a network of friendly strangers.
Square Roots is combating food insecurity and the waste of discarded vegetables.
Ishka is aiming to reduce the level of methane emissions using farmed seaweed.
AeroZero is alleviating the environmental impact of the aerospace industry.
Our veteran project, Spark Ed, continues to make strides as a transition year leadership development programme, expanding into new schools. This year, we worked alongside Bank of Ireland and extended out into an e-learning platform.
In Enactus UL this year, we have grown instrumentally to broadening our project portfolio. We are targeting new issues, reaching 15 of the 17 UN SDGs.
With a total revenue of €10,529.
Our members have contributed 5,463 hours.
Impacting the lives of 372 people, lives like Keith and Edward.
As a group of innovative, entrepreneurial students, we are impacting our communities and world positively.
With our team of 114 members.
And together,
we are
Enactus
Enactus
UL.
UL.
Now the question and answer session. For Moya Nua, what were the exact details of the planned trip to Africa that you mentioned? What would the timelines of progress on the project have been if it hadn't been for the COVID-19 pandemic?
So the planned trip to Africa had 2 intended outcomes: to test the validity and acceptance of the product, and to create and test our business model from sourcing to distribution. Our pre-pandemic plans were to launch a small-scale pilot program with the Ugandan Goal team in May. Financing options were being drafted in collaboration with Goal to allow for the pilot to be run remotely in conjunction with the Ugandan team, and then was to include an on-the-ground visit from the Moya Nua operations by some of the Enactus UL team. Once in Uganda, we would then be able to hit the ground running, and our plan was to organise workshops with the help of our ambassadors and using our planned 2-pronged business model of selling to NGOs and to the farmers themselves. However, due to the threat of COVID-19, these plans were first postponed until summer and have now been postponed until it is safe to do so in line with global health recommendations.
Accepting that a trip to Africa is not possible in 2020, what is the plan to continue progress through the Goal partnership?
Possibility of a trip to Africa in serious doubt for 2020, we have pivoted our plans to accommodate for these restrictions. Our initial plan of an early summer pilot program has been shifted to a start date of no earlier than November to comply with the COVID-19 restrictions. We are currently monitoring the situation on the ground in Uganda, as well as the guidelines from our own Department of Foreign Affairs, to determine when is the closest time that we can travel to Uganda. As we have some groundwork already completed from our previous plans, we are building upon progress to operate the pilot program remotely with the help of Goal.
As we start, as I understand it, the objective of the project started as tackling loneliness and isolation in direct provision centres through cooking and catering. How did the sanitation provision piece come in? How does it fit with the future business and social models of the project?
Yes, the aim of Restart is to alleviate loneliness and isolation among international protection applicants. Our team saw the provision of sanitation packs as a direct extension of this. IPA living in direct provision are among the most marginalised and vulnerable groups during this pandemic. We identified the need to address the impact of COVID-19 on IPA to improve the livelihoods and well-being of the vulnerable members of our Restart community. Through our innovative sanitation drive, in partnership with Every Child is Your Child, we have demonstrated to IPA that the community cares about them through the generous donations that they have made. This is in line with Restart's objective of bringing people together, bridging the gap between IPA and their local community, overcoming loneliness and isolation. In terms of fitting in with the future business model, the provision of the sanitation packs was not something we had accounted for in our initial plans for the year, as COVID-19 has been an unprecedented event. However, tapping into the ethos of Restart, we believe that using entrepreneurial leadership, we have used this as both an opportunity for supporting IPA and continuously meeting their needs during these times, thus enabling us to tackle those feelings of loneliness and isolation as we, as a community, reach out and show the IPA that they have not been forgotten during these times. Our quick thinking and innovative partnership with Every Child is Your Child has allowed us to engage in marketing, a way for Restart to strengthen its brand awareness, as we successfully provided 9 direct provision centres across 5 counties with the packs, building on our portfolio of initiatives and broadening our range of services. Having built context in the new direct provision centres will help us in the future of scaling and expanding the Restart model.
Have you been able to continue the gardening since the pandemic? If so, what do you do with the produce?
Whilst we were unable to continue our gardening initiative as planned during the pandemic, we have used entrepreneurial leadership to develop contingency plans to adapt Restart gardening to smaller scale operations with limited numbers of people involved, which can be resumed in line with social distancing requirements. Through this, we will ensure the continued sustainability of our Restart cooking supply chain and continue to provide an outlet for positive mental health and well-being for IPA and community members during these challenging times.
On Spark Ed, you generated €2,280. How and when did you do this?
€200 generated via the repayment of a loan given to another project last year, which was paid back in September. We successfully pitched for and secured €1,750 from the Bank of Ireland Enablement Fund in February. The final €330 was generated from our programme fees for the workshops, which went ahead prior to COVID-19.